Alright, hello and welcome to my fifth tutorial on libgdx. So today we are going to create the main menu for our game, but before we do that, let me just tell you a few things. At first I got this new awesome screen recorder, so we can record videos longer than 15 minutes, and I think that will be necessary for this episode. There will be a lot of stuff to learn, and I increased the font size here a little bit, so if you're watching on low resolution you can probably see it as well. So now, at first let's correct some mistakes or some things that were bad to do that I did in the previous episodes. Yeah, we got this sprite and we got this sprite batch. And the documentation says the sprite batch is a resource heavy object, so when we don't need it anymore we would like to dispose it, as well as the texture of the sprite. Therefore we go on the dispose method, and like I said in tutorial 2, when the window is closed or when the screen is like thrown away, not needed anymore, this dispose method is called first. So we have the chance to clear all our resources and not slow the computer down. So at first we're going to dispose the batch. Everything that has a dispose method actually implements the disposable somehow. Oh yeah, usually it does, but this has its own dispose method. Or I just clicked on some crap. Open declare type and implements disposable. Yeah, correct. And everything that implements a disposable interface should be disposed, because it cannot be cleared by Java itself. So we have to do that as well for the splash screen. This doesn't have a dispose method itself, but we can get texture and dispose that. I don't know if it's necessary because it's on this way around, but for safety I'll just do it. So now one more thing, in our main method we could do that a little bit better. We use this always the same string here, but instead we could just use these variables. I mean, what did we create them for if we don't use them? So let's just do title plus white space v plus blackpoint dot to dot version, and actually blackpoint to dot here as well. And now we can also enable vsync. It's just syncing your frame rate with your update method. So we have lower frames, but of course still enough. Everything will look just like before, and this will just use way less CPU, so our application runs even faster. Now let's get to actually creating the menu. So we can do something better here as well. You remember the tween animations to fade in and out? This one fades in and this one fades out, in. And we can actually do that in one step. We don't need this at all. We just say dot repeat yo-yo, and this means that it just does the same thing again, but in the opposite direction. So we wanted to repeat yo-yo once, and we want a delay of 2 seconds. That's just what we have before. So now let's check it out and see if it's still all the same. On the first start, it takes some time. Yeah, it fades in, it stays for 2 seconds, and it fades out. Okay, I already thought it wouldn't. And here we see the title that we changed. Blackpoint 2 version, really early. Okay, so now we can add one more thing to the line, because we want to switch to the main menu actually when this is done. So we can set a callback, and by default this is called when the animation is done. We can also set other triggers on when it will be called, but we don't have to because this is the default. So we create a new tween callback and delete these unnecessary spaces here, and don't forget to put the dot here. It gives us some parameters, but actually we don't need them for what we're going to do. And now, how do we set the screen again? Right, we first set it in here in this black.2 method, and this extends game. We did that because only games can set the screen, so we have to get this game again. So to do that, we are going to use a static class gdx.app and then get application listener, because I hope you remember that the game class implements the application listener, and every application for libgdx, like every main class here, it's not really the main class, but every application that we create here has to implement the application listener. So the game does that, so indirectly do it and get some more functionality, like setting the screen. Now we would think just, oh okay, set screen, but that does not exist. It just does not exist, because we actually have to say that this application listener is a game. Java doesn't know that yet, so we put this in parentheses and say it's a game. Now we can say set screen, and this is going to be a new main menu. We didn't create the class, so it gives us an error, but I hope this doesn't confuse you now if you don't know what casting is. If you put something in parentheses in front of some method that returns something, I mean this returns the application listener, and we know that it is a game, so we can just say it's a game, and it just merges it into one. Like, that's how we can imagine it. So like with this thing here, we actually get this class, this instance of it, and there we can say set screen new main menu. So let's actually go ahead and create a class main menu, and it already does this for us, that we implement the screen interface. Finish, and yep, it's in here. You see I already did create this main menu, but that's just if I don't get along in the tutorial now, I can have a look there. So let's delete all these unnecessary comments, and I drink something. Okay, what do we need to actually what is our main menu supposed to look like? Well, do I even record? Okay, I do. I already thought. The main menu is supposed to have a heading where it just says like black.2, and it's supposed to have buttons. One button for exit and one for play. We could do some more, but that's it for now. So at first we want to create a few things that we are going to need. Okay, let me just show you that really quick. Here in our GDX library, we have this package called scene2d.ui for user interface, and here we have all the stuff that they already set up for us. So that's really handy. And to use it, we need a stage where like we put the stuff on. It's all done with stage and actors. So let's create a stage first. Import it. And what we want to put on that stage is actually a table. We do not have to do this, but it will make it kind of easier to get our objects or actors into the correct positions. So now we create a text button and we call that like button exit and button play as well, but we don't need the button play yet. And who dares to contact me? I'm totally recording a video right now. I can't talk to you right now. Let me just turn that really quick. Okay, so I hope that does its job. Alright. So yeah, that's not all we need. Let me actually have a look at what we all need. Yeah, a lot of stuff. So no. What did we all need? Like, alright. Okay, that's good. The heading of our game doesn't come from like whatever we have to create that as well. Private label heading. A label is pretty much just displaying text, and when we do our import shortcut on the keyboard, we want to make sure to choose this one. And then we also need a skin. Actually, we can put it here. Private skin. The skin is pretty much the appearance of our buttons and just of everything that we are going to use. And I think we need one thing more. Yep, that's correct. Even two things. So a label obviously has a font. And since we can't just use our true type fonts from Windows or something, we'll use BitmapFonts. And we have one white font and one black font. That's what we're going to use. Also, we need a texture atlas, so that's a little bit more complicated. The text button has a background, and the background is a picture. It's not just a color. I think we could set just a color, but who wants that? That looks shitty. So we say like, let's do it. No. Let's do it here. Private. Yeah, texture atlas. Oh my god, I can't type. Atlas. So I think this is all the stuff we need to actually create our menu. I know this looks like much right now, but it's actually really handy, and if we want to create more like bigger user interfaces later, we're going to thank these guys that they made all this. Okay, so now before we actually can set that all up, like I said, the text button and the skin and the texture atlas, all that relies on images, and the font also doesn't come from nothing. We have to create it first. BitmapFont says it's using a bitmap image, so we have to create that image as well. Let's actually start off with the font. We get the font by creating it with some programs. We have two choices here. I'm going to introduce to you, if my Firefox doesn't, okay, sorry, and just let it chill a little bit. Looks like it's doing something. Okay, there we are. Yeah, it's still doing something. My PC is so fast. It's just amazing. Okay, we want to use angel code. Hello. Okay, I'm sorry. angelcode.net, or was it something like that? I don't remember anymore. But it was definitely the angel code. Okay, it was not that domain. Oh god, it's so slow. BMFont, yeah. Then we just started up that program. BitmapFont generator. This is what it's going to look like. But now let's just download it. BitmapFont generator. And it's actually angelcode.com. Well, why do I always think of .net? So we just go on hello on angelcode.com, and oh, they changed their website appearance pretty damn much. It didn't look like that before. But here we got BMFont, a free bitmap font generator, and then we're just going to download the installer. And yeah, we just install that, and I think you know how to install a program. So once you install it, we just start it up, and now we can generate a bitmap font out of the TrueType fonts that we already have installed on our computer. So let's go ahead and go font settings. We're going to choose, what font is that actually that we used before? I think it was something down right here. What is? No, that I guess that would suck. Yeah, Okra AST. I think that's what I used. Looks kind of shitty, but let's just keep a style of our game. We could also just put our own font file in, but we don't do that because we already have it installed. The jar set is going to be Unicode. This is like pretty much the normal jar set that everything uses, and we want all this good stuff here. We don't want it to be bold or italic. Ooh, and that's just fine. Do we want an outline? No, we don't want an outline. We just say okay, and now we see it changed these letters here. So now export options, and this is where we come to the interesting part. We'll use 32 bit depth, and here we can like set all this stuff. I don't actually got all of this yet, but they have presets. So let's just create the white font. Yeah, so the alpha value of every single like letter, character, is going to be, glyph is actually character, so it's just going to be like what that character says, and we want the R, G, and B values to be 1, so this will create a white appearance, white color, and then we can choose what we want. If we want that as text, XML, or binary, we're going to choose text because we just can, and instead of Targa I'm going to use PNG, and this doesn't matter, it's just 1 anyway. Okay, so I think that's fine. That is fine. And now we have to choose the character that we actually want to include in our bitmap font. We can click on them to see what these contain, and I think I want pretty much all. Like what's that? And I don't even know what kind of crap that is, but if we're going to type it sometime, we are happy if it's in. I have to say that the more of these we choose, the more images it's going to create. What? There's not even something in, we don't need that, and there's nothing in as well. Okay, so now we can go visualize, and then we're going to see what the picture is going to look like. And yeah, it's going to create 2 images, and yeah, let's just save the bitmap font right now. Desktop. black.2, and let's create a new folder called font, and inside there we're going to create it, save it as white.fnt and save that. So let's see how it, oh god, why do we always have this background? I want that one. Font, and here we have these images. We can't see anything on them now because white on white just doesn't look so good. So now let's change our export options to black text. That's nothing different, just RGB 0. The rest can just stay the same, and we save that as black. Now we can exit that out, and we got our font files. So now let's actually go into our assets folder, and yeah, we can just drag and drop the font folder right in here. So there we are, we have all the files. If you have a look at one of these font files here, okay, let's actually open that up with Eclipse. Hello, I clicked on that. Open with text editor. So here we see that these images are called pages, and it refers here to the image names. So you could probably just rename it to, I don't know, and then you have to rename the image here as well. And here it defines all the characters, and you obviously don't want to do that by hand. This is why it's useful to have such a tool do it for you. So now we can actually load our bitmap fonts into the main menu. Right here we can say white equals new bitmap font, and we give it the file handle and the other thing I'm going to explain just right after that. So you remember the file handles from our static class gdx files dot internal, because it's just internal. We always need it, so we can include it in the jar. Yeah, and it's the folder font white.fnt, just like that. And then we have this boolean flip. That's used, we set it to false, because if we set it to true, the characters are flipped. Yeah, good Nacht. Yeah, okay, that was my mom. The characters are flipped to, because, you know, libgdx uses this y-axis up system, so the y-axis goes like this, and the x-axis goes like this. But usually, the y-axis goes like this, goes like down, and the x-axis goes still to the right. So if we were using a coordinate system where the y-axis goes down, we would set this to true. But since we don't, we just leave it at false. False, yeah. I drink something. My mouth gets so dry from speaking. So black is a new bitmap font as well. gdx.files.internal font black.fnt false, and now ready to go with our font files. Still, that's not all we need. We have somewhat more stuff to go. So yeah, let's let's continue. How long is this video already, man? It's gonna take some time to upload. Okay, so we got our fonts. We got these. Let's just say done.